What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Steep Stuff Podcast. I'm your host, James Loriello, bringing you an episode today with none other than the 2025 mountain running champion, Mr. David Norris. Caught up with David just about a week removed from his win at the 2025 Son of Peace Scramble to chat all things post-race and to see where David's at going into Broken Arrow in just a few weeks. Super fun little chat. Always a big admirer of David's. Hope you guys enjoy this one. None other than Mr. David Norris, the Grandmaster himself. David Norris, welcome back to the Steep Stuff Podcast. How's it going, man?
Great. Thanks for having me back on.
Dude, I'm super excited to be able to do this. Like, congratulations. You're the U.S. mountain running champion for 2025. That's a huge deal. How do you feel?
Thank you. It feels good. I feel sore now.
I bet. So, it's funny. Some people go to Disney World after they win big championships. You went back to Alaska. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Nah. It's amazing. And then yesterday I got to do like one of my favorite kind of like classic runs here in Anchorage. So yeah, everything's good.
Nice. Did you I know you grew up in Alaska, but did you grow up in Anchorage?
Nah, Fairbanks.
Okay. I didn't know that. Wow. Super cool. Yeah, I'm stoked to go out there this summer. It's a beautiful place. And yeah, I'm just kind of blown away by just the scene and just everything about it is just so wild and unique. It's kind of nothing like the lower 48, which is interesting. So
Yeah, you're gonna really enjoy the Alaska course. It's probably in terms of like the classic kind of up down races. I think it's the coolest course I've ever done.
Dude, it's full on, man. I mean, I was just like I said, never done it before. But that said, like just like looking at pictures and looking at Strava and just everything, that's a full on like real legit mountain race. Like there is nothing like that down in Colorado, anywhere really. Like it's like probably the coolest thing outside of Europe, which is neat. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about you, man. So you're the champion. You won the race. I had zero doubts. Like I kind of had a feeling it was gonna happen. Like I don't know. Just so I was kind of present there last year at Brighton, and I watched you race Philemon and Patrick very close. And I was like, man, dude, the talent level you have is just crazy. And I think because maybe you did a lot of those Cirque Series races and it wasn't on ultra sign up, I think people might have like almost looked past it a little bit. And I think people really in the know, like truly believed like you had an amazing opportunity there and it was no surprise to go see you win that race. So maybe talk about how it feels and like to have done it and kind of where you're at now with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it feels great. Like any win is pretty awesome, but I think this was extra special. Because maybe different than you, I wasn't that confident in myself just because I haven't really like stacked up against like a deep running field. I've had kind of one-offs with like Cirque Series and stuff. And some of those I've done well. And then other times like I've raced Christian Allen before and he dusted me in I don't know if it was Brighton or one of the Utah ones. But like I got smoked. And then like doing Alaska races, you're kind of like they're really unique to my skill set, I'd say. Like really steep, really technical. And so I'm like confident in that setting. And so heading to the east, I just didn't know if that course would actually be like as steep as I wanted, as technical as I wanted. But then I think maybe this race, like it definitely gives me some confidence and a little confirmation that some of the training I've been doing to just improve like leg speed and be a better runner is kind of filling the void where I used to feel like I had this massive weakness against the more pure runners.
Maybe dive into that a little bit. David Roche was in the chat and he was talking about some of the stuff you had been doing on the track and just like kind of how you upped your game this year. Were you spending a lot more time on the track or just running a lot more on like more flatter stuff to like work on run economy? Like what were you doing specifically?
I mean, I guess it starts a little bit like I started working with David Roche in October and like I told him that I actually wanted to run throughout the winter because I've been like the snow falls, they start grooming and I go like cold turkey and I just ski all winter. And when I run traditionally in years past, it'd be like the classic Nordic skier jog where it's like 3 days a week for 30 minutes and you're going 12-minute miles. And I was like, I think I'm just, over the years, I've trained myself slow. Like the engine's there, but I just like don't run that fast. And so we were doing like one key workout on the treadmill once a week. And then, so like intervals. And then as spring came around and the roads got dry enough that I could do quality runs, I started doing at least once a week, like a speed set, and then way more strides than I've ever done. And then over the last maybe 5 weeks, I've done 3 or 4 track workouts. And even in that short period, my times are getting better. And I imagine like in that short of a period, it's not like, I don't know if it's almost like more like neurological that like it's improving that quickly, um, but yeah, I'm like more comfortable at faster paces already.
Let me ask you this. So, just as out of pure curiosity, because you're a coach too, has
Mhm.
working with David like changed your approach at all as a coach? Like, has that rubbed off on you at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think the coach that I am is influenced from all my past experiences. And I think like I kind of would say that maybe my skill set as a coach is because I had the benefit of working with so many great coaches through the years. And that's like, I don't know if it's like this necessarily in running, but in skiing, you can work with a club like one season, work with another club the next season, and then you go to university and you have that coach. And then in the winter season, you have a coach then. And then in the summer, you go home and you maybe train with your coach at home. So it's like at any one point, you kind of have a lot of influences going at you. And I think that can be actually hard for some athletes, or you just kind of take like the good bits of advice from everybody. And then just try not to like, yeah, upset anyone's ego by like taking advice from multiple coaches simultaneously. Um, but that being said, I hadn't had like a peer running coach really since like the 3 months I'd do cross country in high school. And so it's been nice to see like how he approaches uh, mostly the intensity. Because in skiing, like probably in the last 15 years, like if I did a running workout, it was running up a hill. It was never working on economy. And we're just pretty traditional in Nordic skiing, I say, where like I could do a whole season and all my interval sets were like a variety of like 4 different workouts kind of thing. It's just you kind of learn the tried and true, but you don't. But I didn't do like any. I don't know. I feel like the running to me because it's more new. It feels like creative and stuff, which
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure if people have been in like the track world for the last 10 years training, my track intervals wouldn't sound unique. Probably they're probably pretty traditional, but to me, it's new and exciting. Um,
I think that's awesome, man. It's just
yeah.
it's interesting to me. Like, I think it's really cool too that like you're already like really good, and then you start to work with David over the last few months, and it just kind of sharpens the spear metaphorically, and then now you have like it kind of like really showed your potential, and like you're what like low to mid 30s somewhere in that range. Like you have opportunity,
Mhm.
dude, to have like a whole nother career in this sport at this point, which is kind of cool. So,
Yeah.
have you thought about it like that? Like, oh man, like now I can. Does it give you confidence? Like maybe just going into Broken Arrow and other races that like OCC and things like that you'll attempt this year.
Yeah, and for sure it does give me some confidence. The one thing that's like kind of like hanging over me is a lot of 50Ks. I like it's never that my legs really fail on me. It's just like I throw up or have GI issues. So that's kind of the one thing that I'm like it just seems like a question mark that I'm trying to figure out how to dial that in.
Gotcha. No,
Um,
it's smart. There's a lot of like I feel like a lot of nutrition companies are starting to get good with the sweat testing and stuff like that. Have you ever done any of the sweat tests? Like I've never done one. I've heard good things, but I feel like because I run very short stuff, it's like, do I really need to do that? Right? I don't know.
mhm. No, yeah, I've never done that. Yeah, and I've heard that some are accurate, some are far less accurate, but I maybe should do it. I've done the like poor man sweat test where I'm like, do I see like sweat on my like armpits of my t-shirts and stuff? And I don't know. Like I appear to be a very low salt sweater, but that's very non-scientific. And I tend to struggle and get weird like issues in longer efforts. So, but I think I'm figuring it out.
Yeah. Well, you've got time. You got some time between now Broken Arrow, and then after Broken Arrow, you've got some time between that and OCC to kind of crack the code. So
Yeah.
especially as the warmer temps kind of come out, you'll get to kind of plug and play and see what works for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk a little bit about the race and how the race unfolded for you. So I was really interested in kind of the kind of how that dynamic worked, like kind of broke itself out. Like we saw Dan assert himself in the race very early. We saw kind of Mason always up front. Tyler McCandless was in that mix, and you were kind of there. And like it seemed like you didn't put a move on or get away from folks until the second lap, going into the second lap. Is that correct, or how would you maybe paint some commentary to that?
Yeah, really the first 5 minutes of the race I thought went out ridiculously hard. Like I felt like I was in like 20th place 5 minutes in. But I kind of just knew that like there was no point in exceeding sort of this like red line sensation that I have. So I just kind of raced my own race for the first 5 or 10 minutes. And then towards the top of the first lap, all of a sudden, like I felt like I was running within myself and bringing people back. And so that was a little bit where I was like, maybe there's some hope of like a decent result. But like 5 minutes in, I was like, well, like, I guess I'm not as fast as I was hoping or thought I was. And then descending on the first lap, I did kind of like pretty quickly, there was some people I picked off on the downhill. And I was like, oh, all right, like this will be good the last lap to just hammer this downhill. But I don't know if probably most people don't know, but like my shoe came off on the downhill on the first lap.
No shit.
Yeah. And I tried to like, it didn't come fully off. My toe was still in it. And so I took maybe, I don't know, 15 steps where I was trying to jam my foot back in it. But eventually I had to stop and like try to get the heel cup back around my foot. And it was just one of those weird steps where like my foot went in the mud and it really suctioned the shoe off. And so maybe like 3 people that I just passed me back. And so that kind of opened up the gap a bit more. So I was chasing coming into the second lap. And then on the second lap, I didn't necessarily feel like on the ski resort section, I wasn't like, oh, I'm just eating people up. But as soon as we got into the single track and the technical climbing, there was like steeper pitches and just, I mean, it really was quite technical and kind of relentless. And there I just started like, I'd see someone in the woods ahead of me and they would come to me really quick. And I wasn't really keeping track of where I was. And when I hit the ski resort, like the service road, the guy on the bike told me that I was in second, and I could see Taylor like 5 or 10 seconds ahead of me.
Wow.
And then I was like, oh, sweet. Like I can make worlds, but like I wasn't necessarily thinking win. And then in the descent, quickly, I was like, I think this is one runner that I can get on the downhill. And I think I was confusing Taylor with another Brooks runner who had just ripped the downhill.
Probably Dan. Yeah.
Dan, yeah. And so, yeah, I was like, I thought it was Dan, and I'd seen him run the downhill earlier. And I was like, geez, this guy's insane. But yeah, that was kind of like how it played out a little bit. And it was a super fun race. Like the whole time there's just like, it wasn't like boring, I guess. Like it was a little bit of like playing your cards and like seeing people definitely had their strengths and weaknesses. And this course really showed that, I thought, which is I like credit to a cool course.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was, just technically engaging in a lot of sections. And it seemed like that really, to speak to what you're saying, like once on that second loop once it started getting really steep, single track, much more technical on that ascent, it seemed like people just kind of like flaked on that. Or not, I wouldn't say flake, just like implosions.
Yeah.
Crazy. At what point did you have an idea where you're like, nobody's catching me, I'm gone, like I'm going to win this race? Or did that not cross your mind until you hit the finish line? Like, were you running scared toward the end, or were you in command and just, because you looked pretty smooth coming in?
Yeah. I felt really strong coming in. Like it's not a aerobic, to be finishing on a downhill like that. So it was more just like the focus to like keep driving, but I was not confident that I was gonna just like walk away with it, because I've had races where like you get to the service road and then you're running like a 4 minute pace, and all of a sudden there's a few runners that can, when that train happens, they can go just so absurdly fast.
Yeah.
And like I felt like the last 5 minutes I was just sprinting my whole way
You looked
down the
like you were
service
doing it.
road. Yeah, but like the times show how close we all were. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like I just like got to chill or something. So yeah, I wasn't risking anything. Like I was just trying to go as hard as I could all the way through the line, and I thought that would be good training for me.
Yeah.
To like finish hard.
No, I think you did. I mean, dude, it was amazing. It was crazy what unfolded behind you too. I mean, right behind you there, that mix up between kind of Mason, Taylor, Cam, Andy, kind of all being right there. It was close, man. I don't think I've ever seen a race where right after you, I mean, like Mason and Mason and Taylor were like right there. So it was cool to see everybody kind of finish so close to one another. And, I had to say hats off to Mason too, because it looked like Mason kind of faded back and was able to kind of regain some ground and assert himself back into second. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dude, the team we're sending, like you guys are going to compete for medals, dude. It's going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, everyone seems super strong. And then I don't know what you think, but like from the website, it looks like World Champs course will be a little more runnable.
Yeah.
Like faster.
A little bit. It depends. Like I just don't think it has that. I don't know. We all know like the Pyrenees is steep. It's a steep course, much more runnable, but it's the East Coast mud and techie aspects. Like obviously like the techie aspects kind of follow over. Like you'll have that technical component in Europe from what I understand, but the mud and kind of that just nastiness, I don't know if that'll be there, which makes it kind of like, I don't know, interesting or not. It was really interesting for me to see because I don't know. I just, like I said, I had a feeling going into this race, a lot of your skills would transfer over very well, given the technicality of this race and like that mud and just like nasty downhills and being able to run really technical stuff or semi-technical stuff and feel pretty confident in it. Where did you, other than your shoe coming off, did you fall at all? It seemed like a lot of guys fell.
I did on the last downhill on one of the just like open ski resort parts. I fell and slid like probably 10 feet down the grass. Like,
wow.
One of those falls that felt very high speed, but like not a mark on me from it. But yeah, I did go down there, but like in the technical single track section, like I felt so sure-footed. Like the day before when I was just previewing the course, I felt like I was rolling my ankles and stuff, just jogging super easy. And then on hammering through it on the race day, I don't think I took a bad foot. It was kind of interesting.
Wow.
More focused or something.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. You were able to like kind of get into that zone. That's neat. I got to ask you this now that you're qualified, you made the team, you're the champion. What does this change your? Because it's close to OCC. Does it change your strategy going into OCC?
I don't think so, because I think probably like for OCC, like the one thing I wanted to change after last year was just like speed and running economy, and then have my legs prepared to hammer down the downhills, which like when I lived in Alaska, my legs were always really well prepared for downhill running. And then in Colorado, it's just, especially Steamboat, the terrain's so gradual. And so I didn't have any of those like pounding, like 30-minute straight downhills that you see in see in Europe or Anchorage, where like it doesn't seem like people ever cared to build switch packs in their trails. Um, so I'm kind of wanting to work on those. And I think speed and having durable legs for downhilling is pretty much what will help you in these like up down races. Because like yeah, and then I think after OCC, I can take whatever time I need to recover, and then probably do some short hard stuff just to like rev up the engine and get it kind of like tuned up for like being ready to actually go hard right from the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. You're signed up for the 46K for Broken Arrow. Are you still going to go? Like, you think you're still going to go throw down at that as well?
Yeah, I figured like the whole time that was kind of like it was nice to know that I was going to 2 world team tryout races, but really Broken Arrow is like I want to do that to have a 50K under my belt before OCC.
Okay, smart.
And I figure with the altitude, even if it's not crazy hot or something, just like if I can dial in nutrition at that altitude, I feel like it should be that much easier at OCC.
Yeah. If you have a good day at Broken Arrow, which it's highly possible, would you do both teams?
I think with the, I think I was trying to look at the timeline, but it probably wouldn't be great at World Champs.
Yeah.
With because the 46K would be before the 14K race.
Yeah.
I think like 4 days before.
So you'd have
And
to choose then.
what's that?
You'd have to choose then which one you'd rather do.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. I don't know how other runners, I think I have a really, I feel like I have a unique ability to make myself absurdly sore in running races. Like I just like hobble around for 2 days, even when I think I'm really well prepared. So yeah, I definitely have to choose. Um, and then, I'm kind of torn. Like side of me would love to do the VK at Broken Arrow. And then that's 2 teams that I could do, I think, with like the timing of it. But I also like the OCC was kind of my main target for this season. So then I'm like, well, I really want to do the 50K and prepare for OCC and have that as a like the true test and preparation race for OCC.
Yeah. These are good problems to have.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I mean, I love racing and stuff. So like I would do it all if I could. And, but I know I won't, my legs won't hold up to that if I tried to.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you this from a mental perspective. Like I would imagine if I were you, I'd be riding a high right now. I'd be super stoked. How do you put that behind you and kind of put that in a box going into Broken Arrow and like just get the focus going on that? I know obviously you have like such a dense background as an athlete, so it's probably easy for you to kind of just shift focuses and say, okay, this is going to be the new target now because this is what I'm going after. Is that easy for you?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like, I feel like I don't know, always, always had this feeling where like if it's a bad race, nobody remembers the next day. And so when it's a good race, like the good feelings hang around a lot longer. Like I get rid of those bad feelings from a bad race pretty quickly, but like it's like this week running, I'm still just like the same runner I was before Sunapee. So I don't know, I'm just like back into the training plan. And if anything, I'm just more excited and do have a bit more confidence that what I'm doing is worth it. Because like any athlete, if you have a bad workout or it's like raining when the alarm goes off and it's crummy outside, like if you haven't had good results in a while, it's always easy to kind of doubt like, is this worth it or is this going in the right direction? So I'd say if anything, preparing for Broken Arrow is like almost easier now because I feel like I got that encouragement that what I'm doing is working and I should just try to stick with it and stay healthy, and odds are it's going to keep kind of going the way I want.
No, I like it. Let me ask you, since you won, have people been reaching out? Like, have you started to get a lot more followers, or people saying like, "Hey, David, congratulations"? Like, are you starting like has anything changed?
Um, no, I mean, people have been super nice. Like, um, just between like texting and Instagram messaging and stuff, like tons and tons of congrats and just nice comments. But nothing's like changed really more than just, feeling like people kind of that you don't think maybe are following this stuff or following it, and everyone's been really nice and supportive, but everyone's been really supportive like all along. And um like, I don't know, we're not in a sport where like you get hate mail really.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
So
Unless you're a podcaster. No, I'm kidding.
yeah. Yeah.
But no, that's funny. I love it, man. It's exciting, and yeah, congratulations. And it's just,
Yeah, thanks.
I'm excited for what's next for you. And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. So I think that's a good place to end it.
Great.
One of these days, let's, I'm thinking like maybe after Mount Marathon, let's do like a long form, like an hour sit down where we can, go through your whole story and talk, because I really want to learn more about like your skiing background and all those things. So if you're game for that, let's try to get that on the books.
Sure. Yeah. And I'll be more easier pinned down.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine, dude.
Well, no, that'd be fun though, because it is interesting. Like I feel like I was like really sort of like naive or ignorant in the running space, where like if you mentioned anything in cross country skiing, I'm a total geek in that realm and know it all. Yeah, in the running world, it's like so new that I don't know, it'd be interesting to talk about. And like and then you see it with like, Sophia Lockley's crushing
yeah, dude,
and stuff. So like, yeah, the skiers, a lot of them could do really well in trail running, non-running.
yeah. There's so many of you, man. Like you said, Sophia, like quite a few, if not like all Nordic skiers seem to just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's such a better crossover sport for mountain running,
Yeah.
even maybe more so than the track. The only thing I would say that rivals it are like steeplers are usually a safe bet.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
but that's it. It's very weird. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's your training approach, like from the heart rate, as well as like getting more modalities and like, I don't want to call it cross training, but more modalities from other like things that you can do in training, like just building the understanding like aerobic zones and how to build an enormous engine, which I don't know if that necessarily transfers over from track and cross country as much as it does from you guys. So I think there's something to it, man.
Yeah, no, it's true. Skiers they're strong. And that's why like the Alaska Mountain Running Series, like when I first moved to Anchorage, we were doing all these VKs, and it was like I had like a lead pack of like 5 guys I was going head to head with, and they were all like 4 out of the 5 were made the Olympics for skiing. And so it was just these crazy, yeah. And we were like every race for like 4 summers, every race we did, we broke the course record because we were just pushing each other.
Yeah. That's so crazy. Dude, I feel like every year I learn about a new one of you guys. Like last year, Scott Patterson, like with the rut. I had no idea that guy even existed, and he's like a world beater. There's like I said, you guys just come out of the woodwork. It's crazy.
Yeah, Scott. Yeah, Scott and I were roommates for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's a machine. Like his speed goat result was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So many of you. Yeah. And then obviously David Sinclair, who's been on the scene for a while now, and yeah, it's crazy. So
yeah. And then Sylvia Nordskar.
Yeah.
She skied for DU.
Yeah. Yeah. She won, didn't she? I think was it Zagama she won last year? Something like, or got close.
I think so.
Yeah. She's crazy. So many good athletes, but listen, man, I don't want to take up all your time. I appreciate it. We'll be in touch. I'm going to get this out. I'm probably going to I'm trying to get as many of them done as soon as possible. So I'll probably,
you got a lot.
Yeah, probably drop them all on Friday. And then I'm heading out east for a little bit, but I'm going to start working on Broken Arrow. So should be fun. Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks for the support.
Yeah, man. Dude, congratulations again. 2025 mountain running champ, and I will I'll be in touch. We'll chat.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks.
See you, David.
Yeah.
Listen up, guys. The Steep Stuff podcast is brought to you by Ultimate Direction USA. Guys, I am so excited. UD just dropped their new Race Vest 6-liter and Ultra Vest 12-liter in 2 beautiful aesthetic colors. You guys got to check these new vests out. They're dynamic in ways like that you just have never seen from an Ultimate Direction vest. Very stretchy, lots of storage, beautiful aesthetic colorways coming to you in a new, like a white and blue and an onyx and green. Just absolutely beautiful vests. I think these ones are just like some of the best products we've ever dropped, and I'm so excited for you guys to try them out. Hop on ultimatedirection.com and use code SteepStuffPod. Again, that's SteepStuffPod for 25% off your new vest. I mean, they're already affordably priced, but 25% off is just going to make it so much more affordable for folks in an already increasingly expensive trail running environment. So hop on ultimatedirection.com, get yourself a new vest, a pack, or any hydration solution, and let me know what you guys think.